Friends, 1038 days of war between Russia and Ukraine. And the war momentum continues as before, like in Ukraine, Middle East, Myanmar, Sudan, or elsewhere. And that also includes, by the way, war on climate, which is degenerating at a faster rate than what we imagine. In southern Ukrainian war zone, the things are moving at its momentum like in Zaporozhye. Ukrainians carried out offensive operation in Kamyansky area and made some small gains while Russians advanced north of Marfopol and south of Malinovka. While in Rimivka direction, Russians are advancing west of Storozhiv in bid to encircle Velika Novosilka. In east, in Kurakhov-Pokrovsk sector, Russians have made good gains on almost all the fronts. In north of Kurakhov reservoir, Russians advanced towards Andrivka from Stary Turny and Krasnoye Zarya line. Before that, they had captured space between Krasny and Stary Turny. Fight is on for Shevchenko while Russians advance towards Slavyanka and Petropavlovka. In Kurakhov sector itself, fight is on at thermal power plant and pipe plant and towards Dakinskoye area. In south of Kurakhov reservoir, Russians assaults are on towards Yantarnoye Dakinnoye road, which is now less than 5 km. Ukrainians' reinforcement seems to be building up a right bank of Sukhiyali river, so that Russians are denied to approach Ostrovsky and Gigant to Yantarny is closed. Pokrovsk, from southern direction, Russians seem to be preparing for final onslaught for Pokrovsk, and after dislodging Ukrainians from Novi Truth, Russians reached outskirts of Dakinskoye. Fight is also on in Shevchenko and Pishane. And on the left bank, as far as Pokrovsk is concerned, Russians' offensive operation is on towards Novovazilivka, west of Novo-Olenivka, and offensive operations from Pushkina towards Novo-Olenivka is also on. Relatively in northeast Ukraine, that is Kupian-Swato-Kremina sector, situation is calm and Davorikne Brizheld is being expanded by the Russians and fight and offensive operation on towards Kremina, that is Liman direction. North of Kharkov, by and large, positional battle is continuing in both Volchansk and Liptsy sectors. Kursk, Russians have made gains, marginal ones, both in Korinovo and Sudzha districts. Interdiction missions, Russians launched multiple strikes in Kharkiv, Sumy, and other regions, while Ukrainians are targeting Russian targets, which include civilian infrastructure, also in Volgograd and other regions. Coming to Middle East, IDF launched 6 sets of airstrikes consisting almost 100 warplanes, which includes Sana, that is their capital, north of Sana, military air base, and Hodeidah province, including the port. Coming to Syria, the new state, which belongs to STS now, supported by US, Israel, and Turkey, is planning to have an army of 300,000 people, which includes basically 40,000 from STS and 50,000 from Syrian National Army, which is supported by Turkey. Gaza Strip fight is on as before. In northern Gaza Strip, the IDF continues striking Zabalia, and IDF officer was killed in Netazarim corridor in crossfire, while IDF airstrikes were carried out in central Gaza, Nusrat, killing many journalists. While southern Gaza, IDF engineering works continuing, West Bank situation as before, and Lebanon, IDF raided Al Hudaydah and Hola regions, advanced into it, and later withdrew after Palestinian army approached. An unconfirmed information says that one F-16 was shot over Zaporozhye. Lukashenko has said that he is ready to deploy Oreshnik missiles, almost a dozen of them in Belarus. If Russia desires more, it could be complied with. It now seems that Azerbaijani Embraer aircraft was shot down by Russian Pantsir missile by mistake. Full information is yet to come. Eurasian Economic Union summit is continuing in Russia, where Iran observer status has been approved. Earlier members are Armenia, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and of course Russia, whose gross domestic product is more than 2.6 trillion, while their GDP PPP is 183, I say again, 8 trillions. Other observers now, in addition to Iran, are Cuba, Uzbekistan, and Moldova. Little bit from New Delhi, that is India, my country. In northern India, the weather is taking a turn. It rained early morning today. Temperature is likely to dip up to 2 degrees centigrade. Not too much for the western and northern hemisphere, but yet it's quite a lot. And as a result, AQ is improving. Thank you.